In this video, we are going to set up PostgreSQL database using Docker Compose file for multi-container Docker environment. So we will use Docker Compose to run PostgreSQL database in a container for the basket microservices. If you look at our microservice deployment strategy, we are at the deployment 1, and so far we have built our microservices into local environment, but now we need to connect database and we need a database IP and port number that we can connect from our local computer. For that purpose, we should activate the PostgreSQL database in our Docker Compose environment. And if you open the PostgreSQL Docker image from the Docker app, you can see that we have already checked this documentation before. In the configurations, we can activate our PostgreSQL database using Docker Compose, and within these configurations, please open the Visual Studio and go to the Docker Compose YAML and override YAML file. If you open the Docker Compose YAML file, you can see that we have already downloaded the PostgreSQL image for Catalog DB, and we can use this database for catalog microservices. But in basket microservices, we will also use PostgreSQL database. So that means we will add another service for the basket microservices. For that purpose, I'm going to copy these codes and paste in here. Now I'm going to change the name as a container name as a basket DB, and the image should be PostgreSQL again. Also, we need to define volume definition for the basket database. For that purpose, go to the volumes, and now I'm going to add an additional volume which name is Postgres_basket, and this will be represent the database volume for the second database. And now we are ready for the configurations in Docker Compose, and now we will go to the override YAML file in order to configure the port numbers, environment variables, and so on. Please open the override YAML file, and in here you can see that this is the catalog DB configurations, container name, environment variables, and the port numbers and the volume definitions. So we will configure the basket DB as the same way. For that purpose, I'm going to copy this line of code and come here, paste at the same level, and make sure that your indentation is correct. And I'm going to change the container name as a basket DB, and let's configure this configuration one by one. Our container name will be basket DB, so that's why I'm changing this basket DB. Environment variables, username and password is same, and our PostgreSQL DB should be basket DB, and restart always is okay. And the port numbers, I'm going to explain, we will have to change this port number, and the volume definition should be changed accordingly. Our volume is PostgreSQL basket, so for that purpose, change this volume definition. Okay, so now the only thing we have left, change the port numbers. Since we are using the catalog DB as a PostgreSQL image, this is the default port number that we are going to expose to our local computer. So if we try to expose the second PostgreSQL database at the same port, this will be throw an exception, which is the port is already allocated exception. In order to avoid this kind of exception, we should change one of the port number when exposing our local computer. And now I am going to change this port number as a 5433. By this way, we can differentiate the databases for catalog and basket microservices from our local computer. So we assign a unique port number for the basket database in order to avoid conflicts with the catalog database. And in here you can see that the volume section ensures the data persistence for each microservices. And we need to connect the correct database. So finally, we should update our connection string accordingly. Please go to basket API and go to application settings JSON file. In here you can see the server name as a localhost, and port number should be changed. And now I am going to change these 2 to 3. By this way, we can connect the correct basket database and create basket DB inside of that database. And we have updated the port number, and we have updated the Docker Compose override YAML file, and we have configured the second PostgreSQL database for basket microservices.